Hello guys, my name is Srinivasrao. I am a Python trainer. I have both 20 years of experience both in teaching as well as project recipes. So, in this session we will be discussing about
Recording in progress.
we will be discussing about typecasting and type conversion. Then we will discuss about input function and range function. So, we will start with input function. What is typecasting. First we understand what is typecasting and type conversion. Example scenario, first let us a small program just to add numbers. Okay. For example, I will declare one variable called n1, n1 equals to, for example, this is number 10, but this 10 is in double quotes, okay, right, and second is n2, n2 equals to 20 for example. I want to add these two numbers. So, I will say sum equals to n1 plus n2, n1 plus n2, okay, right, and now I will try to print sum, I will try to print sum. Now, when I run this program, what happens, as both are strings, why? Because these numbers are enclosed with double quotes. Now, this is string, n1 is string, n2 is string, string plus string, what happens, it will not add, it will concatenates, it joins two strings and it will display as what, is displays as 10 20. When I run this program, it will display as 10 20. What is happening here? It is joining n1, it is joining n2, both are strings. Now, actually my expected output is what? My expected output is 30, I want output as 30. So, if you want to the expected as 30, we have to convert, these data types. So, in Python, if you want to convert, there are some functions, okay, there are some functions for conversions. For example, I want to convert to integer. To convert to integer, in Python there is one function called int function. To convert to float, we have one function called float function, int function, float function. We have str function, it will convert from any data to a string, and we have bool function, it will convert any numbers to, we can convert to bool. So, what I do, this function, what this function will do, this int function will convert to integer, will convert to integer data type, into data type from any data type, right. So, what I will do, I will come here, now will convert. So, what else here, n1 equals to, I will use int function, int function in brackets n1. Now, this n1 string, it will convert to integer and will store in a variable called, again same variable called n1, and we are updating, we are converting the same n1 and we are updating with n1. Same way, what I will do, n2 equals to int function brackets n2. What is happening? This string 20 will convert to integer and will store in n2 variable. Okay. Now, we will run this program. Now, when you run this program, it will become 10 numbered integer and 20 integer, 10 integer, 20 integer, 10 plus 20 30. So, final output will get as 30. Okay. So, this is called converting from one data type to another type by using int function. For example, now what I will do, I will remove this integer, I will put float here, float function, float, float function. Now, this string 10, string 20 will convert from string to float, and finally, you will get the output as 10 plus 10.0 plus 20.0, it will give 30.0, right. So, for example, what I will do, I will declare one variable called n1 equals to 0 and n2 equals to 1. I declare one variable called n1 equals to 0, n2 equals to 1. Now, I want to convert these numbers to boolean, bool value. So, for example, n1 equals to bool function, I will give n1 and n2 equals to bool function n2. I will both print n1 as well as n2, print n1 and print n2. print N1 and print N2. Now, we will see what will be the output of this after converting to bool. So, this 0 will give false and 1 will give true, right. So, we understand all the functions. Now, conversions, casting, typecasting. Typecasting are into two. There are two types of casting. One is implicit and one is explicit. See, until now what we discussed by using these functions, these are all explicit conversion. We have to convert from one data type to another type by using these functions. They are called explicit casting, and there is one more thing called implicit casting. One is implicit, this will done by automatically by the system, and second one is explicit. Implicit, explicit. Yes. So, this we have discussed all the explicit this one, how to convert explicitly by using the below functions. What are the below functions? Int function, float function, str function and bool function. This is called explicit by using functions, conversion functions, right. Implicit will done automatically, it will convert automatically, it is called implicit conversion. For example, now we will see one example of implicit. Example, N1 equals to 10 for example, and N2 equals to 20.5 for example. One is integer, one exponent. So, what I will know? I will add these two numbers N1 plus N2. Now, when I print this one, what happens? This will convert to integer. Integer plus floating point number, it will convert to floating point number. So, the output will be floating point number. So, it is automatically converted to float. So, this is called implicit conversion. Okay. So, we have discussed implicit typecasting, different types of typecasting and what are the functions, right. Now, we will discuss one more input function. Those who know C language, in C language there is a function called scanf. Same like in C language scanf, it is in Python. In Python we use input function, taking input from the user, entering the values dynamically through keyboard. You can say anything, take inputs from user. If you want to input from the user, we use this input function, or you can say entering values dynamically through keyboard, values dynamically through keyboard. We use which function? We use input function. So, user will enter the values from keyboard. Until now what we discussed, we are declaring a variable in the program and we are assigning the value in the program itself, but by using this input function we can assign the values dynamically through keyboard. Let us see. What do you know? This input function, I want to enter two values, for example 100 and 200. I want to add these two numbers. 100 and 200. But this 100 and 200 I won't assign in the program. I want to enter dynamically. This 100, 200, whatever, 10, 20, whatever. So, I will use input function. So, first I will declare one variable called x. X equals to input function. See here, input function in the brackets there is underscore prompt, means there we have to enter, there in the prompt we have to enter. So, x equal to input function, y equals to input function. See here prompt is there, but for user I want to display one message that please enter number 1. I want to display one message while before entering the data. So, what I will do here? I will put here in the double quotes. I will put one message here. What? Please enter number 1. So, user will get one message, please enter number. There he or she will enter values dynamically through keyboard. So, first you will enter number 1 and then again I will display one more message, please enter number 2, please enter number 2, right. Now, I want to add these two numbers, sum equals to x plus y, x plus y, then what will do? I will print some value, I will print some value. Now, what happens when you run this program, first it will display one message to the user, please enter number 1. So, user what will do? User will enter through keyboard, same like y also, same. Well, see here when I run this, see it is asking to enter number 1 in the prompt. In the prompt it is asking please enter number 1. So, for example, enter 100. Okay. What will do? Wait, let me give some space. So, colon space. Okay. Right. Again I will run this program. Now, when I run this program, here please enter number 1, I will enter 100. Press enter 200. Okay. Now my expected output is 300 because I am adding x sum equals to x plus y, but you will not get 300. Now, we will see what it gets, 100 200, it is joining. So, input function whatever you input it will treat as a string. Okay. So, whatever you enter in this input function will treat as strings. Whatever you enter in the input function, it will treat as what? It will treat as a string. Even though you enter number 10 or 20 whatever, it will treat as string. So, that is the reason. Now, here what happened here? It joined here. This is not a number, this is not integer, it is string. 100 is string, 200 is string, both are strings. So, this will take as string, this function will take as string whatever you enter. String plus string is joining two strings. So, we got the output as 100 200. So, what is the solution? The solution is what? Converting to integer. So, what will you here? See here line number 6 x equals to in function will use because I am entered integer in function x. Now, this string x, this is string x, it will convert to integer, again it will store in the same value a variable called x. Same way y equals to in function in brackets y. What happened? Again this y is converted to integer and will store in y variable. Now, x equal to sum equal to x plus y, 100 plus 200, now you will get a 300. Yes. Now, what I will do? I will enter for example 60, press enter, one more 40, 60 plus 40 is what? 100. Now, you got 100 because it is converted to this string 60 is converted to integer 60, this string y is converted to integer y at line number 7, then we added 60 plus 40, you got the 100. Now, instead of writing this extra line 6th and 7th, what I will do? Here itself I will convert, while entering the data I will convert to integer. For example, int function I will use here, int function here itself in the line number 3, okay, and no need line number 6 and 7. So, what will do here only I will convert while entering the data, no need to write these two extra lines. Okay. So, I will remove this line number 6 and line number 7. Now, perfect. Now, whatever you enter, it will be converted to integer, and when you run this program again it will ask a number. So, this I will give 1, I will give 2 and 3, right. Now, this time what I will do? I will remove this int, I will put float now, float, float. Okay. Now, what will do? Same thing, for example 10, it will convert to 10.0, 20 it will convert to 20.0, and final output we will get 30.0. It is converted to float function, float data type by using float function. So, now we understand what is input function. Taking the values through keyboard is called using input function, taking the input from the user. by using input function. Same thing scanf in C language, C in C++ language, okay, and in Python we use input function. Okay, right. Now, one more function we will discuss, that is range function. Today we will discuss one more function. In this session we will discuss one more function called range function. This range function will generate numbers, For example, see, while we are discussing while loop, for example, using while loop I want to print natural numbers from 1 to 10. For example, I want to print this. I want to print 1 to 10. I want to generate numbers from 1 to 10 using while loop. So, we have to declare one variable I equals to 1. We write the condition while I less than or equals to 10, indentation. Then we will print first. We will print I. We will print I end equal to space. Okay. Then what will do? We will increment I equals to I plus 1. So, if you want to print 1 to 10, okay, if you want to print 1 to 10, we have to write this 4 lines of code to print 1 to 10. In Python there is one function called a range function. Range function also works same like this, but it give 3 inputs to this and it will generate numbers. Okay. We have to give 3 inputs. Now, we will see what is the syntax for this one range function. We will see what is the syntax. Let me show you the syntax first. So, understanding syntax is very important, okay, and this is the syntax. The syntax of range function. The syntax of range function is what? Here I have to give 3 inputs. Okay. The first one start number. From which number you want to start? I want to start from 1. So, we should give 1. Next input parameter, next input is top number until, for example, I want to print until 20. So, you should give 20 plus 1, 20 plus 1, 21 is a number that is excluded. Okay, it includes until 20 when you give 21. So, we should give 21 as a stop number if you want to generate numbers from 1 to 20, and the step number is optional. If we do not give step also, it will increment by 1. This is increment, for example, I equal to I plus 1 like the same. If you give 1, it will increment by. If you give separator as this step as 2, it will give step 2 as 2 numbers. It will increment by 2 numbers. Okay. And in this, this is compulsory. Which one is compulsory? Mandatory. This top number is mandatory. Remaining start is optional and step is optional. If you do not provide start number, it starts from 0. If you do not provide step number, it is increments by 1. Okay? And we will see this practically this. And if you want to print this range function, if you want to print this numbers, so we will use a for loop. Okay? So, for loop by using for loop and membership operator in operator. Okay, in operator. For example, I want to generate numbers from 1 to 20. Okay, I won't use while loop now. I use a range function. See here, range function in brackets. I want to start from 1. So, give start number. Stop number is 21 because I want to generate until numbers 20. So, I will give as 21 as a stop number, and step. If you do not give also 1, if you give also, by default it is 1. If you do not provide 1, it will increments by 1. Okay. Now, I want to print this. So, to print this, okay, we should use loop, just like we used list, tuple, sets, dictionary. Same way this is also iterable. We had to loop this. Okay. So, I will use this for loop, one variable in membership operator, range function. So, it will loop 1 by 1. It will loop for 20 times, and what I will do? I will print this x value and give n equal to space, because I want to print in horizontally. Okay, and each number should have one space. Then my program is done, and when I run this program, it will display from 1 to 20. 1 is start number, 21 is a stop number, 21 is not included, it includes until only 20 and the step is by default is 1. Even though we do not provide 1, it will increment by 1. See here, see the output 1 to 20. So, if you want to print the values in range function, we should use for loop and this is operator, membership operator. We discussed in the first or second session. In section we discussed different types of operators, arithmetic, relational, logical. So, there is one operator called membership operator and there is an operator called in, not in. So, this is in operator. So, one by one the values from range function it comes to variable x. Okay. What we will do here, we will debug this program. So, I will put a breakpoint at line number 1 and we will click on this debug icon, okay, right. See exactly it stopped at line number 1. Line number, what will now? I will click on this step over, okay, next step. See when I click on this step over, it came to print statement. Now see the value of x, please watch these values, please watch these values, this value. Every loop keep on incrementing this by 1 because we are given a step as 1. So, first loop the value of x is 1. So, it will print 1. So, I will go to this console, I will click on this console tab, okay, and please check here also, See these boxes, one is this bottom and one is top, okay, right. Now, I will click on this step over. Now, it prints what? It prints the value of x. The value of x is on the first loop is 1. See 1 is printed. See the bottom red color box. Okay. Now, second loop 2 will come into the x. 2 will come into the x. Now, see the value of x, x value is 2. So, it prints 2. Now, third loop 3 will come into the x. Yes, it prints 3. Fourth loop 4, fifth loop 5, sixth loop 6, seventh loop 7, eighth loop 8, 9th, 10th, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and the last loop is 20, 20 is printed, right. So, this is called a range function. Okay. Now, what are the rules here? What in these 3 inputs, 2 are optional, 1 is mandatory. 2 are optional, 1 is mandatory. So, in this range function, this what start is optional, stop is compulsory, mandatory, and step is also optional. If you do not provide start, it starts from 0. If you do not provide start, it starts from 0. If you do not provide step, by default it is 1. Okay. This time what I will do, this time I will not provide start number and stop number and I will give 11 here, there is no start number and there is no stop number. So, if you do not provide start number, it starts from 0 and it increments by 1 because the step by default it is 1. So, see here it started from 0 because we did not provide the start number and stop number is 11. So, 11 is not included, it includes until only 10, right. So, we understand what is this range function. Okay. By using range function, I want to print odd numbers and even numbers. Odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17 and 19, right. And even numbers are what? Even numbers are 0, not 0, sorry, I am sorry, even number starts from 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 and 20. I want to generate these numbers, okay, by using range function. So, I will come here, first I want to print odd numbers. So, what will do here? My start number is 1 for printing odd numbers and stop number is 21 or 20, whatever, because I want to execute from 1 to 20. I want to check all the numbers between 1 to 20. So, I should check until 21 and step Step what I will do here, I will give as 2 because it should increment by 2, 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, I want to increment by 2, okay, right. Now, when I run this program, what happens? See, it is printing all the odd numbers until 19, 21 is top number. So, 21 is not included, even the 21 is a odd number, but is not included. Why? We have given as top number. Now, I want to print even numbers, even numbers starts from 2. So, what will do? I will give as start number is 2 and step also 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 8, 10 like that. Okay. So, now it will generate numbers from 2 to 20. See, it is incrementing by 2. So, if you do not provide start number starts from 0, and if you provide start number, it will give start number, from start number it will start until stop number is not included. So, we understand what is start, what is stop, what is step, what are mandatory input parameters and what are optional parameters, right. We understand stop, stop, step, okay, right, done, done, this is done, this is done, yes. Now, the numbers, the step number can be also negative number, step number can also be negative. You can also pass a negative step argument into the range function, For example, I want to print like this. For example, I want to start from 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So, here my start number is what? My start number is 10. And what is my stop number? Stop number is what? 0, because I want to include 1, I do not want 0, okay. And step should be, okay. Now, it should, because I want to generate from 10 to 1. So, I should give as minus 1, I should give as minus 1, okay. So, I will come here, come to PyCharm. Now, I want to generate numbers from 10 to 1. So, for x or y, whatever in range function, I want to start from 10 until 1, 1 is I want to include 1 also. So, I should use 0 as a stop number and step as minus 1, okay, and I will print x, end equal to space, right. Now, I will run this. See, it is printing from 10 to 1, okay. We will put a breakpoint, and we will debug this, we will debug this, okay. And see there, I will click on step over, click on step over, see here, see first 10 came into the x, okay, it prints 10. So, I will select this console also, okay, 10. Next, see the value of n, see the value of x, the value of x is 9 now, it prints 9. Next is 8, next is 7, next is 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, finally 1, okay. That is it, all the loops are done, it will come out of the loop and it prints 10 to 1. Yes, we understand how to generate numbers in using negative step number also, okay. Now, there are some points to note down in range function. The range function only works with integers, not floating point numbers. The rule is it works only with integers. So, all the arguments must be integers, not floating point numbers, and you cannot use float numbers or any as start, stop and step, okay. It should be all integers. All 3 arguments can be positive or negative, and the step should not be equal to 0, okay. There is no step with 0, either minus 1 or plus 1. If you give 0, it will give some error, the runtime errors, value error, okay. About runtime errors we will discuss in detail in coming sessions, okay. And we will do some more programs using for loop. In next session, whatever did in while loop, we will convert everything in for loop. For example, sum of n numbers. See these programs, sum of n numbers, factorial of a given number, okay, and when what Fibonacci series. See all these programs we did by using while loop. Same programs again we will convert these programs into while for loop, and also we will discuss what is prime number. What is prime number? Using for loop, we will check whether the given number is prime or not using for loop and range function. Okay. What is prime number? We will check whether the given number is prime number or not. Given number is prime number, prime or not prime number or not a prime number. So, all these programs we will discuss in coming sessions. Sum of n numbers, factorial program, Fibonacci series, multiplication table also. This also we will discuss in next session. Thank you very much. If you have any doubts, and please comment us. If you like this video, click the like button and share our channel to friends. Thank you very much. Bye.